You never heard this in school or saw it on the news. But in 1947, the US government created a secret committee. Their one mission to hide the truth about aliens. Top secret files, silenced witnesses, and a name nobody dared to say aloud, Majestic 12. A group so powerful, not even the president could question them. For decades, they operated in the shadows, covering up wrecks, hiding bodies, and erasing history. But now, lost documents are being uncovered, and every page reveals a truth darker than fiction. You're about to see the untold story behind a global cover-up. And when it all clicks, you still have to ask yourself, what if it sub's all true? In 1984, an anonymous envelope arrived at the home of a documentary filmmaker. Inside, something that should have never left the hands of the US government, a classified memo titled Majestic 12 Briefing Document, stamped top secret magic eyes only. No one knew where it came from, but what it revealed was too shocking to ignore. It listed 12 names, military generals, scientists, high-ranking officials, allegedly part of a secret group created after the Roswell crash in 1947. The government had always denied everything, but this document claimed otherwise, even stating that aliens had been recovered, alive or dead. But who leaked this? And why? The FBI quickly dismissed it as fake, but the people listed were very real. They held the exact positions mentioned, too specific to be coincidence. Still, many believed it was just another hoax, until more evidence started to surface. Majestic 12 doesn't appear in any official record. No law was passed, no announcement was made. But according to the leaked documents, this group operated under direct presidential authority, tasked with controlling and concealing all evidence of extraterrestrial contact on Earth. Names like Vannevar Bush, James Forrestal, and Roscoe Hillenkoetter, all real people involved in top-level intelligence and scientific programs, were listed. If it was just fiction, why were these names included? And why did some of them die under mysterious circumstances soon after? It sits as if an invisible machine was working behind the scenes, deciding what the public should or shouldn't know about aliens. And the more you dig, the deeper the silence becomes. But that silence, it wouldn't last forever. According to the Majestic 12 memo, Roswell was never about a weather balloon. The document detailed the recovery of a non-human craft and biological entities that weren't from Earth. The operation was led by elite forces and quickly buried under a cover story that made no sense. Even more chilling, the timeline in the document matches real military records, aircraft deployments, troop movements, sealed-off areas. How could someone fake all of that with such precision? The official story started to fall apart, and internal panic began to rise. To contain it, they created a theater of misinformation, conflicting reports, silenced witnesses, missing files. But if you read that original memo, you'll see none of this was accidental, and Majestic 12, they were behind every move. And that was just the beginning. James Forrestal was America's first Secretary of Defense. His name appears in the Majestic 12 document. A powerful man, but after the Roswell incident, he became paranoid. He claimed he was being followed. He spoke of dark forces inside the government. Soon after, he was institutionalized against his will. And then, he fell from the 16th floor of the hospital where he was being held. Officially, it was suicide. But records show he had plans to leave the next day. And oddly, his medical file vanished. How does someone fall from a military hospital window the day they're about to talk? Forrestal was one of the few people who could confirmed the government CIFTUS involvement with aliens. His death remains a mystery, and what he knew and who he feared opens up an even darker chapter. Few know this, but some of the people tied to Majestic 12 were Nazi scientists brought to America through Operation Paperclip. These were top minds in aerospace engineering, and soon after 1947, they were given secret clearance to study something. One of them was Wernher von Braun, who became the face of NASA. But according to classified reports, he and his team were tasked with reverse engineering alien tech from Roswell. Why would the US need Nazi scientists to study a weather balloon? The link between these scientists, MJ12, and the sudden rise of US tech raises disturbing questions. Did our post-war technological leap actually come from human innovation, or from something that fell from the sky? Transistors, fiber optics, night vision, integrated circuits. These technologies appeared shortly after 1947. Coincidence? Or the direct result of reverse engineering alien debris? Some say modern technology exists because of an accident involving aliens. Ex-military officials like Philip Corso swore under oath that they handled non-human materials. In his book, The Day After Roswell, Corso claimed the US funneled alien tech into private companies for civilian development. That would explain the sudden explosion of scientific breakthroughs. But if we're using alien tech without knowing it, what else is out there? And if Majestic 12 controlled what got released, what didn't they share? That's where the story gets even darker. The memo didn't just mention wreckage. It referenced biological entities, small, fragile beings with oversized heads and black, lifeless eyes. They didn't breathe like us. Some were dead. Some were alive. Military personnel at Wright-Patterson and Los Alamos later confessed, on deathbeds, in private letters, that they saw these beings. They were sworn to silence, but they left breadcrumbs. And strangely, every time someone came close to the truth, something always happened. Majestic 12 knew. They weren't just hiding technology, they were studying life forms not from this earth. And what they did next crossed every moral boundary. Leaked reports and whistleblower accounts suggest that by the 1960s, Majestic 12 approved something far more dangerous: genetic experiments combining alien and human DNA. The goal? To understand the visitors, or create hybrids. These experiments allegedly took place in black sites like Dulce Base, a facility that officially doesn't exist. But former guards and insiders spoke of labs with tanks, creatures, body parts mixed with machines. It sounds like science fiction, until you hear the same details from different sources. Imagine it: humans tampering with what they can't understand, fusing alien biology with our own, all under the radar, all orchestrated by a hidden committee. And if they went that far, what else did they do in the name of progress? Majestic 12 didn't need guns. They had narrative control. Their greatest tool was disinformation, feeding the public with just enough truth to keep them guessing, then drowning it in ridicule. Whenever someone got close, they created a more ridiculous lie. Hollywood films, crazy UFO stories, meme culture, all part of a strategy to discredit the truth. The term conspiracy theory? Declassified CIA files show it was weaponized to silence critics of official narratives. Eventually, the public was trained to laugh at the truth, and those who knew too much, they vanished. Majestic 12's goal was never to erase everything, just to make the truth look stupid. But even that couldn't last forever. In 1994, an intelligence insider, known only as Cooper, handed journalists a new batch of documents. Internal MJ-12 communications, transcripts, meeting logs, real dates, real names, technical jargon only someone on the inside would know. These files were examined by experts. While the government called them forgeries, many analysts disagreed. Some information simply couldn't be fabricated. They revealed operations, facilities, and procedures never mentioned publicly before. But then, Cooper vanished. The story faded. The documents were buried in bureaucracy. MJ-12 disappeared again into the shadows. But this time something had changed. Because the internet was just beginning, and the truth was about to slip through the cracks. With the rise of the internet, Majestic 12 lost their biggest weapon: full control. Forums, leaks, anonymous insiders. Suddenly, thousands of people around the world were connecting dots the government never thought they'd find. Sites like Above Top Secret and Project Camelot started compiling files. Former agents started speaking. Patterns emerged, timeframes aligned. Information that once seemed impossible began to make sense. The response? More disinfo, fake videos, trolls, digital sabotage. But the damage was done. MJ-12 could no longer control everything. And as public pressure built, the government did something unexpected. In 2017, the Pentagon admitted it had been studying UFOs all along. Declassified Navy videos, like the Tic Tac and Gimbal encounters, were released. And for the first time ever, the US didn't deny, it just refused to explain. These weren't fuzzy lights. They were objects that defied known physics, and those analyzing the data, many had links to former MJ-12 programs. It was as if the government had decided to open the door just slightly. But why now? And why so vague? Maybe because saying the full truth out loud would shatter everything. But behind closed doors, scientists were already saying more than anyone expected. Behind the scenes, insiders began speaking out. NASA advisors, military engineers, and astrophysicists started revealing fragments. One, Dr. Eric Davis, told the New York Times he briefed Congress on off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. These weren't bloggers. These were top-level experts. And oddly, none of them were sued, arrested, or even officially denied. Just silence. That's always been the government's best response when something is too close to true. So if scientists are leaking pieces of the puzzle, what else is still locked away? MJ-12 may not exist in name anymore, but the operation clearly lives on, and what they're hiding might be far worse than we ever imagined. There's one document, according to insiders, that has never been released. The final Majestic 12 briefing. It allegedly details everything: the crashes, the contacts, the deals, even the names of alien species. Where is it? Some say the National Archives. Others claim it's stored in Raven Rock, a top-secret underground facility. Wherever it is, no one has access. Not even the president. Some call it the real disclosure bomb. And the scariest part? The question isn't what's in it, but why it's still classified. If it's just fantasy, why lock it down for 70+ years? Maybe because it contains the one truth that changes everything. Researchers say Majestic 12 didn't end. It evolved. Today, its operations are buried inside SAP's special access programs. What's different now? No one knows what to look for. It's all decentralized, private contractors, black sites, shell programs, and yet sightings are rising. New footage keeps surfacing, more whistleblowers are speaking. Some even claim multiple species are in contact with Earth, not all friendly. And if that's true, then MJ-12 knew it all along. They weren't hiding one secret, they were managing an entire reality. And now, that reality is starting to break loose. Majestic 12 isn't just a myth from the shadows. It's a symbol of something much bigger: control over the truth. For decades, we were told to laugh, dismiss, forget. But what if the lies were crafted because the truth is just too big to handle? What if contact already happened? What if the deals were made? What if we were never alone and they never left? Now it steps up to you. Keep pretending none of this is real, or start looking at the sky differently. If this made sense to you, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and share this with someone who deserves to know the truth.